So this is a heat of the Thames Challenge Cup between Leander Club and Itchen Imperial. And we're straight into this one. Leander Club very much on their home water. Itchen, originally a coastal rowing club. I know these guys have been working on the river rowing as well. And this is likely to be a tough race for them, I would have thought, coming up against this Leander crew in the Thames Challenge Cup.
Yeah, Greg, the Leander crew are a selected crew. However, the Itchen Imperial crew, they pre-qualified into the regatta. They didn't have to go to qualifying races, and they've had some really good performances this year too. And they're not going to let Leander have it their own way, although Leander do look like they're just taking a little bit of a lead as we come off the top of the island.
Yeah, I would expect Leander to be a strong crew in this. Contains several athletes who've made the transition from junior to the senior squad, including former world junior champion Joe Wolfin, who also won the Forley here for St William Borlase in 2016. So I know it's a development crew for the Leander Club racing here in the Thames Cup. They made a strong start, as you might expect, and they'll be looking to break contact. But as we say, there's quality in the Itchen crew, and they want to try and hang in there.
It's interesting the contrast between the length of strokes as you've got the crews side by side. See, Leander's spent a little bit more time in the water, making the most use of their stroke, moving their boat gradually stroke by stroke ahead.
It's really interesting you say that about time in the water, but often we hear coaches asking crews to bang their legs down or to get the oar through quickly, but actually getting the oar through slowly but connected actually moves the boat that little bit further per stroke. I remember last year we had Jimmy Tompkins came into the box and commentated with us, and it was a big thing he said, was that to actually not pull, not bang, not slap at the water, but just to get it in quietly and move the boat past the tin.
A lot of rowers misunderstand the fact you're not trying to move the water, you're trying to move the boat to the water, and it's that connection and that squeeze to try and get the most acceleration out of that movement as you possibly can. London just squeezing towards the middle of the river. I'm wondering if that's going to attract the umpire's attention, but the umpire at the moment looking quite calm. I know they've got a substantial lead anyway, so it doesn't look like it's an unfair situation. Leander very calm and composed here.
Well, it's Sam Royston in the coxing seat for that Leander Club crew. It's his 10th season of coxing. He started at Monmouth Comprehensive, carried on at Reading University, and now it's his 4th time competing for Leander here at Henley. So you couldn't get a much more experienced cox racing here in the Thames Challenge Cup. And I think he's just done enough to keep that boat on the Berkshire station, to keep the umpire fairly happy with the way they're steering. Itchen doing a good job, I think, of keeping their boat going along as they are on the Buck station on the left of our screen.
Yeah, they're not giving up, are they? Doing their absolute best to keep on level terms with Leander. Itchen had a good race yesterday against Curly. They're a close one. They only won by a length and a half. The time 6 minutes and 37 seconds, and that's probably starting to tell now.
Yeah, I followed that race down the course, and it was a close one, and I was sat with my good friend and former Olympic teammate James Fode, who, along with others from the Fode family, represent Itchen Imperial, and he was pleased with the progress this crew had made. He had been rowing in the crew earlier in the year, but realised it was important to drop out of the crew so they could prepare for the Thames Challenge Cup, because James would be overqualified for this event. So this crew got together for the head of the river, where they had a decent performance, and then decided to target Henley Royal Regatta.
You mentioned progress, Greg. I think it's really important to bear that in mind. I was looking through the bio of the stroke man of the Itchen crew, Tristan Symes, and it's often something we see at Henley. So 3 years ago, didn't quite qualify in the qualifiers. Last year, knocked out on day 1. Here we are competing on day 2 of Henley the following year, and it's that progress of clubs we wish to see.
Yeah, absolutely, and we see progress here for this Leander Club crew. They will be moving up from Junior World Championships, from racing in the school events that we're seeing plenty of today, like the Princess Elizabeth Cup and the Forley, and now moving up to the Thames Challenge Cup.
Itchen, you see there, trying to get back on level terms. They're taking 36 strokes per minute or so. Certainly not letting Leander just walk away with this victory.
We see the crews going away from us here, the Itchen crew still moving pretty well. There's a little bit of movement in the blades, a little bit of movement of the boat from side to side, but hard to criticise really at this stage. Racing on the Thursday at Henley, coming up against this strong Leander Club crew coming down through the milepost.
Itchen crew, an interesting combination, experience in both coastal boats and river boats, and they're by no means the same technique or style. They're two very different skill sets, and to be able to do both is a really impressive thing. So Itchen, really good performance today.
And Leander will be pleased to have been racing in these conditions where it's nothing like rowing in the sea. It's about as calm as it gets. It's what they're used to training on this very piece of water. A calm, quiet day just before 9 o'clock on the Thursday morning. Itchen would be able to handle anything that the course threw at them.
And Leander there looking very calm, long, controlled strokes. Just enjoying this lead. Just coming down to the enclosures now, so there's a ripple of applause will start to build. And they'll be thinking later in the week, getting to enjoy this.
They will be thinking as we look at the back of Tom Widlin in the bow seat, 19 years old. He has 2 gold medals in the Great Britain age racing of the Coupe de la Jeunesse, and he comes from Abingdon School. So they have plenty of experience racing on this Henley course, coming down in front of these grandstands now. They're looking in control and calm. They're coming down past the floating grandstand. The Leander Club crew are in good control of this race. That ripple of applause goes out, and Leander Club cross the line with Itchen racing, still raising the stroke rate all the way down to the line. They can feel proud of how they've raced today. But we will see confirmation that it's a win in the Thames Challenge Cup for Leander Club over Itchen Imperial.